Hi, welcome to class. Um, the basic thing we did today, if you go to Google Classroom and click on banking, we did this together. So how you do this assignment. First off, please make sure you do the warm up. That's a personal question. No right or wrong answer. What is the purpose of a bank? So we talked about in class, a lot of students put things such as banks help us to keep our money safe. It's a place to get money. The reason we're talking about banking in class is because at one point in time, banks didn't actually exist. It was a very foreign concept. People had never heard of banking. And in the Middle Ages, closer to the end of the Middle Ages, banking happened. It got created by a family called the Medici family, who were extremely wealthy and enjoyed donating money to businesses. And that was kind of the boom start of banking. So the point of class today is to talk about how does trading and banking really help cities, particularly European cities. So what you have to do for this, I can't talk. You go to source one on your slideshow, and please, I recommend, please take the time to really read through this. I did highlight what I thought was important, but by all means, other students in every class so far have been pulling out really important stuff. But please don't just copy and paste. I really, really want you to try to put stuff in your own words. The reason being is when you try to put it in your own words and summarize it, when you do the FPT, the formative performance task at the end, you do a lot better with that. And also, you'll learn a lot more if you put things in your own words. But if you are struggling, so number one, it talked about merchants began to get extremely wealthy. And so they started donating money to other fellow merchants, essentially creating the first bank. And just so you know, we could kind of talk about vocabulary merchants because that word comes up a lot. Merchants are like business people. Okay, so a merchant could go to a bank and say, hey, I want to own a cupcake business. That's a merchant because they're a person owning a business. So again, this is going to create this idea about loaning money. Now in this sketch, you're not sketching, you are inserting a picture. So you do that by going to insert, image, search the web. Okay, and for example, this one I type merchants, and I can drag a photo over into the box. I moved it kind of weird. There we go. Into the box. So you're going to do that for every single one. Okay, every single one. Source two, again, please try to put things in your own words. If you're copying my slide, that's fine, but try to put things in your own words. Source two really talked about getting loans, that even today, banks are really, really good for giving loans. For example, most people in today can't afford to just go buy, a huge house. They usually can get a house by getting a loan from the bank and paying it off. Loans really originally started because people back in the day had to carry coins. They didn't have credit cards. They didn't have, checks. They had massive pieces of metal coins. That was very difficult to travel. It was difficult to buy things. It was difficult to start a business because it's a lot of money. So banking really started as a way to exchange coins. It allowed people to get money easier. So if you wanted to start a business, that was really easy for you because you could go to a bank and get that loan without having a huge amount of money in coins. Don't forget to insert a picture. So a good idea for that could be coins. The picture should be anything that you talk about in your box. Source three talked about monarchs could borrow money from the bank to go to war. This is actually a negative thing. We still have this even today. Obviously, we don't have a king or queen in the United States, but if our president chooses to go to war, they borrow money from a bank because war is very expensive. However, for these kings and queens, they're going to get their country in so much debt because none of these kings and queens can pay off the war. Sometimes they lose the war and have to pay even more money, causing everyday normal people to pay for it. But please make sure you insert a picture. A good picture idea could be a picture of a king or queen. Number four, it talks about that because of trading and because of banks and businesses opening up, that people did not have to travel to buy things. It was very localized. For example, here in the US, if you have to get groceries or go to the mall, most people don't have to travel way too far. You don't have to get in your car and go travel for an hour just to get your groceries. That happened because of the Middle Ages. It happened because of banking. That people no longer thought, hey, I don't need to go in my cart or my horse to go buy things. I can buy it locally. And then source 5 is also going to talk about markets, that it made items cheaper. That because people could borrow money and start all these businesses and trading, it makes the everyday item cheaper. So then more and more people are going to start buying, and the more people buy, the more businesses you're going to have, because people can stay in business because you're buying their product. So that's going to allow items to be cheaper. So all of these things are still very much true even today, that this happened several hundreds of years ago. And most of these things about banks and trading are still true today. Once you insert all your pictures and copy everything down, again, I know we tend to just copy straight from my screen. I'm okay with that if you're really struggling. But please try to summarize what you got from this. Okay, once you do that, please make sure you hit turn in. We then went over, if you click on FPT banking, usually at the end of every assignment, I used to have you write a short paragraph. You're still doing that. I just put it on a different assignment just to remind you, because it gives you helpful reminders. For this one, and I started you off, so if you're just copying my screen, this is not enough. This question is basically asking what you learned today. So how does trade and banking impact cities? Okay, that refer back to this, that obviously write in complete sentences, which is what you see on my screen. Banking and trading impacted cities by, okay? And then I personally chose that it helps you get loans in large sums of money. So then maybe I can copy that little sentence. But then notice I try to put things in my own words. So then I could say, this is important because we need loans to start businesses. That's my own wording. So it's okay if you want to copy some stuff from here, but what I don't want you to do is don't just highlight the whole thing and go copy paste. Pick some things out that you thought were really cool or really important, and then just add a little bit of why. Why do you think that part's important? Try to put things in your own words to explain it. Again, try to write a full paragraph if you can. Refer back to this assignment to get your answer. Once you do that, you hit turn in. The other assignment, Crusades, we will do that on Thursday. There will be a video for that on Thursday as well. I did highlight to every class. I did post this little helpful checklist. The grading period ends next week. I'm allowing you to have until next Friday to get any missing or late work. And again, that's next Friday. What I did do was I ranked the assignments from the most important, the ones that are worth the most points, to the least amount of points. So if you have a very low grade and you are really struggling, or if you feel like you're drowning because you have a lot of makeup work, start small. Start with this number 1. Start with the feudalism project. If you haven't done that, that one is worth the most points. There is videos attached that help you go over that assignment, but kind of just break it down going one by one. That will help you bring up your grade the most, instead of just starting with questions of the day and feeling like you have too much. Okay? This is here to help you. Again, I am here to help you. If you need any help, feel free to ask me for help. Okay? Have a good day.